It's been such a long day. Time to relax. www.pornhub.com. Oh yeah.
Yep. Granite countertops.
Oh my god. That fucking ass. I don't think I've ever seen an ass that big before. Come on! Why the fuck is this loading so slow? Pay an extra $20 to finish loading? Are you goddamn kidding me? Visit mylittleponyporn.com? What? That could happen to you. Today's video is by far one of the most important videos I've ever made on this channel. Hands down. And no, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not doing clickbait. This is by far the most important video, and let me tell you why. Federal Commission's Chairman Ajit Pai on why he is trying to phase out net neutrality. And for those of you who don't know what that means, basically freedom of speech, the ability to browse the internet, an open free market to support websites like Netflix or Google search engine, using any search engine you pretty much want to do. It gives big businesses, multi-billion-dollar businesses like Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, the ability to bottleneck websites that you use that may be direct competitors to them. And what it ultimately boils down to is who has the most money. Oh, Comcast doesn't want you using Netflix because it's a direct competitor? Well, how about they push their new Comcast TV, where they bottleneck your bandwidth usage so you can't stream Netflix as well, if not at all. The FCC, Federal Trade Commission, was designed in the 1930s to protect communications, to not allow the government to control and prioritize big multi-billion-dollar companies and corporations like Comcast and Verizon to control and have the ability to prioritize whatever the fuck they want, so we don't have access to whatever search engine, whatever streaming site, whatever site we want to use in general. And not surprisingly, there's not a lot of big corporations, except the major ISP service providers like Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, that are trying to push this. And they're doing everything in their financial power to get this diminished, to get net neutrality, something that is designed to protect the internet, something that you and I love and use, so they can control what you see, what you watch, but most of all, where your money goes if they don't like what you use. The infrastructure of the internet is so massive, and it has made businesses like Netflix huge. It's been a massive success, and these companies wanting to getting rid of net neutrality want to abolish any sort of competition by prioritizing their services over others. And it literally comes down to money. Who has the most money to buy what you can search for? Forget about Google. If Comcast has more money than Google, you can't use that search engine. Comcast will make their own search engine, which you're going to have to use. The government and big multi-million-dollar corporations should not have a say in how they control what we consume as consumers on the internet. This goes beyond just streaming websites, but also freedom of speech. They can not allow you to have access to certain websites, certain accounts, certain whatever, any fucking thing. They have the power legally. The word's legally because it was designed, the Federal Communications Act was designed so companies couldn't do this. If net neutrality gets eliminated or gets its regulations pulled back, we're going to be in a massive crisis. The internet, what we know, will never be the same, and I may not even be allowed to be on YouTube anymore. You can bet your goddamn ass Comcast and other big things like Verizon don't want people watching YouTube videos because they can create their own websites in competition to YouTube, and if they're bottlenecking people with their services and then charge whatever price they want, that's another scary thing, is price. Charging consumers whatever the fuck they want because that's what all they have to be able to use. You take a normal house, for example, everybody gets charged the same amount of power. Use a lot of power, you get charged for the same amount, but your power bill is just bigger. Think of a company coming in saying, well, you used more power than your neighbor, so instead of charging you the same rate in which we charge normal people, which just makes your bill higher, we're gonna quadruple the price that you normally would pay for a flat fee of how much power you use, and we're gonna charge you 5 times that. Well, why? Because we legally can. That's the scary part. That's why this is the most important video I've ever had to make, and that's why this needs to be talked about more, because it's ongoing right now. These big companies are trying to get rid of net neutrality. So now you're probably asking, what can I do? What can I do to fight this? Well, right here is battleforthenet.com. It is linked down below in the description. This is only going to take you 30 to maybe 60 seconds of your time. Sign this. It's simple, it's easy, it goes directly to Congress, and show how much support that you can give that the FCC's open internet rules are important to be protected. Please go do this right now. This is vital. We cannot allow our personal rights and our freedom of speech and everything that we know to be controlled by giant companies that only want to make an extra buck and control what we can and can't access. Furthermore, look at this giant list. These are tons of companies, massive companies, that want net neutrality to stay where it is. Because all of these sites, and many, many more, will all be affected if this goes into play by taking away the regulations and protections that the FCC has put into place by being bought out by money. These four massive companies want to control everything. Why should we allow them to have the power to jurisdict what they allow us to see, watch, say, but most of all, support who we want to support without them controlling us? The internet is a giant, global, universal infrastructure that needs protection. And by signing this and supporting this, your signature helps dramatically. And I urge you, everyone watching this video, this is not about me. If you don't like me, who the fuck cares? Go sign this, because this affects everything that you do on the internet. And I, for one, love the internet. And if I'm being really honest, I don't think you want to watch dial-up pornography or watch an image load frame by frame back like it was in the early 90s, because that's going to be the potential future of the internet if you allow companies like this. Think of all the porn that you cannot watch that will be controlled by corporations. Are you really gonna let a company like Comcast control your FAP material? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to make this video to bring awareness. Please go sign this. The links are linked down below. The articles that I mentioned are also linked down below. We need to defend net neutrality, whether that is life or death. We cannot allow corporations to control what we see, what we say, but most of all, where our money goes and who we want to support.